Being a psychiatric mental health nurse practitioner has been the best decision I've made career-wise. But there are moments where it causes me a lot of stress on the job. And in this video, I'm going to be going over 5 stressful things that are part of being a psychiatric mental health nurse practitioner. So stay tuned. Welcome back, Psych Dude family. It's good seeing each and every one of you guys today. If you are new to the channel, let me formally introduce myself. I'm the Psych Dude. I'm a board certified psychiatric mental health nurse practitioner, and in this channel I go over several different subjects to educate the public about mental health, ways to improve your lifestyle, topics related to mental health, nursing, nurse practitioners, and specifically psychiatric mental health nurse practitioner topics. If you are interested in these topics, definitely feel free to subscribe to my channel and make sure you like this video for me to make more content, and it helps with the algorithm. That's what everyone else says, so I figured I'd say it too. But if it does help with the algorithm, then definitely feel free to like this video and make sure you follow me on Instagram at the Psych Dude, and definitely make sure you let me know that you watched this video and just hit me up and say hi so we can have a conversation. But definitely I would love talking to you guys. So let's get down to the nitty-gritty. So you probably clicked this video because you are interested in finding out what are the stressful moments of my job as a psych NP, and honestly that's a great question, and it's something I had to actually think about. But there are a few things that did stand out, but the main one is the one that kind of caused me the biggest stress, especially in the beginning as a new grad, because you never know what to expect, and when your role as RN compared to NP, it's definitely different. So without further ado, let's get started on the top 5 things that cause me stress in my role as a psychiatric mental health nurse practitioner. So the first stressful part of being a psychiatric mental health nurse practitioner is dealing with drug seekers. And honestly, this comes as a shock, especially when you're a new grad, because you know that you're dealing with drug seekers on the inpatient side, and sometimes they do that, but it's a whole different extent, especially when you're working on the outpatient side, because people come in drug shopping. Pretty much they're just going to different providers and just being able to see if they can get their medications. So in state of California, we use a system called cures. So cures were able to review whether or not they're taking out scheduled drugs and seeing if they got it within a certain time frame. And sometimes, unfortunately, you get people that do try to doctor shop, and they go to different doctors and just try to get as many medications as possible in order for them to keep on prescribing them, and hoping that one of the providers doesn't check cures prior and gets the same medication or gets the same prescription as the other provider gave them, so they can have their stash. And sometimes this is stressful because there are moments where it does get busy, and then sometimes you don't check it as often. So typically in California, we have to check it on the initial visit, and then we have to check it 4 months after that. So every 4 months we have the patient, we have to check cures. And sometimes if you don't document properly, then you're not going to necessarily know where or when you last did it. So it's stressful because you don't know if they're doctor shopping, or you don't know if they're drug seeking, and all they're trying to just exaggerate some of the symptoms that they have in order for you to prescribe them whatever medication they were coming on or wanting. So that's definitely one of the stressful things of being a psychiatric mental health nurse practitioner. So the second thing that's stressful about being a psychiatric mental health nurse practitioner is determining or distinguishing between a malingerer or not a malingerer. So the reason why this is tough is because sometimes, depending on how well of an actor they are, then it's pretty hard for you to distinguish whether they're a malingerer, because they exaggerate their symptoms so much to a point where you actually believe them, and you think, okay, this is what they're actually going through. But sometimes, depending on which setting you're working in and you're dealing with a malingerer, sometimes they just might exaggerate so many different symptoms and make it so believable that they're gonna actually get hospitalized and get admitted to the unit. And that's sometimes stressful because sometimes you don't have a lot of beds, or sometimes you don't have a lot of spaces, and you have to be able to determine whether or not they're a malingerer or not. And for me, like I said, it's pretty stressful because you don't want to admit everyone, but then again, you want to be able to admit someone that actually needs the help. And then same for the end goal. So say, for example, being in an outpatient setting, if someone's just exaggerating so many of the symptoms and they're a good actor, you have to be able to determine, okay, are they just trying to get the medications that they want, or they're trying to get the time off that they want just for a specific occasion, or are they really going through all of this? And at the end of the day, it's your judgment, and if you're not able to distinguish between the two, if you're just giving it out or just admitting them for no reason, then it's going to be more work on you at the end of the day. So this is what's stressful about being a Psych NP also. So the third thing that's pretty stressful about being a psychiatric mental health nurse practitioner is finishing notes. So typically, depending on how fast you see patients and how much you write in your note, sometimes finishing the note right after the patient leaves or while during the patient appointment, sometimes it's hard finishing those notes, and sometimes if you don't finish the notes on time, then you get backed up and backed up and backed up, and sooner rather than later then you realize, damn, I didn't finish a lot of my notes. And a lot of the times it's when you are a new grad and just trying to find and transition into the role as an NP, because a lot of the times you want to be able to focus fully on the patients, which is important, but at the same time you have to be able to determine what you want to put in your notes. And you develop this over time, and instead of just being so delayed on your notes, you start to realize, okay, this is what I want to include, this is what I need to include. And it gets stressful, especially in the beginning. Like I said, this really stressful because notes are important, because that's how you get paid, and that's how you, and if you don't write quality notes, then you're not going to be able to remember, okay, what's going on with this patient, because let's face it, we see so many patients and our caseloads grow and grow even larger than what we think, and we can't remember every single thing about the patient. So your notes have to be detailed enough in order for you to justify, okay, why am I using this medication? What did I do last time? What did I add on last time? Did I change any doses? Things of that nature. So you have to be able to write quality notes, but at the same time, you have to be able to write notes efficiently and in a timely manner. And that's what's stressful about being a Psych NP also. So the fourth thing that's stressful about being a psychiatric mental health nurse practitioner is you have to manage staff and you have to do the clinical side. So this one's stressful, especially as a new grad, is because a lot of times, depending on what role you came in previously, I was a staff RN, I didn't work in management, so the managing part, managing office staff and managing people that work under you, along with seeing patients, this gets timely, because at the end of the day, they're looking up to you and trying to figure out what decision making do you want to do, what does each staff member need to do in order for us to get through the workday. And if you're having to deal with both, especially with having patients scheduled on a back-to-back basis, then it gets tough. And this becomes stressful, especially in the beginning. Like I said, it becomes stressful because you're learning a new role as a Psych NP, the clinical side, and then also having to deal with the management side and having to manage the LPTs, the LVNs, the MAs, then the office staff, the office assistant, and this can get tedious and stressful within itself. So definitely be aware that this is more common than you think. And this is one of the stressful things about being a Psych NP. So the fifth and final, the most important and stressful thing about being a psychiatric mental health nurse practitioner is liability. So with liability, it's so much out there, because when you were RN, everything was clear cut. You can't do this, but you can do this. But as a nurse practitioner, depending on your policies and procedures, sometimes that line is blurred because you don't necessarily know what you can and you can't do. Obviously, based on your policies and procedures of that establishment, then you know what you can and you can't do. But with not even including that blurred line, liability as a nurse practitioner increases compared to RN, because you are making that decision. You're determining, okay, this is the plan of care that I want, these are the medications that I want to prescribe, and I'm going to go through with it. So depending on the reaction of the patient, if they deteriorate or if they get better, you have to deal with those either pros or cons, and you have to deal with the consequences if it does go bad. And sometimes you're more liable and you have to actually go through with it. So it opens you up to more issues and liability, especially in that advanced role. And it gets stressful because not every patient is going to react the same way as another patient. Some people will do really good on medication, and some people will do really bad. And if they do really bad and affects their work and affects their life or anything like that, then they can come after you, or they're going to try to come after you. And it's pretty stressful because obviously if you're in this industry, then you know that sometimes, like I said earlier, that you have a medication in mind that works for this person, but might not work for that person. And like I said, if that person deteriorated to a point of either killing themselves, hurting themselves, harming others, then you're liable. But in your rationale, you're like, okay, it worked for this person, it has FDA approval, then how come it didn't work for this patient? And that's the tough part of it. But at the end of the day, regardless of the consequences, then you're liable. But like I said, you have your policies and procedures. You have if you did everything to the book in terms of like FDA approval, dosing, you warn them about the risk and benefits, then obviously it's really hard for you to come back at you because you already explained to them about the whole medication. But it's still in the back of your head, and it's pretty stressful knowing like, okay, every single decision I make, I'm liable for because of so and so, right? And that's the difference between being a nurse practitioner and being an RN, is that liability. And sometimes this pay increase or this role isn't worth it for the person to have that much liability on the patient's lives. But yeah, that's just my opinion. Like I said, these 5 things stress me out. It might not stress other people out, but these are the things that stress me out, especially as a new grad. But even to this day, liability is one of those things I get stressed out about, and certain things, if I don't finish it in time, like my notes and being able to determine the liability and dealing with drug seekers. So no matter what, these things stress me out. Obviously, as time goes by, it doesn't become as stressful as before. But yeah, I wanted to make a video just so you guys can be aware of what you might expect, because like I said, being a nurse practitioner, especially a psychiatric mental health nurse practitioner, it's in a newer realm, newer field, and newer role. So a lot of people don't really talk about it, and I figured might as well talk about it also. Well guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is the end of the video. I hope you did truly enjoy it, and if you did, feel free to like this video. Like I said, it helps with the algorithm and helps me and pushes me to make more content like this. And yeah, if you haven't already, follow me on Instagram at THEPSYCHDUDE. Definitely follow me and send me a message and just say, hey, what's up? I followed you from YouTube, just so we can start a conversation. And yeah, I love just conversing with so many new people that I haven't met. And if you shout out to me, then I'll be able to just talk to you and see what is going on, and just being able to converse, you know. And that's what I love about it, especially with this tight-knit community, and being able to talk to people and see what they enjoy about my videos, and maybe even make suggestions on what other videos I should make. And if you want to leave a comment down below, leaving suggestions of videos or potential topics I can make in the future, because I definitely need more ideas. And with December coming up, I'm going to try to not necessarily do Vlogmas, but I'm going to try to make a video every single day. So I definitely need more content there. And also, if you guys haven't known already, this is my birthday month. This is my birthday month. So my wife hates my birthday month because I try to celebrate it from November 15th to December 14th, just so I can have a whole month. My birthday is at the latter end of November, but I always tell her, let's celebrate the whole month. So she hates it because I get to be spoiled, and she has to spoil me. Well, she doesn't have to, but she chooses so. Well, I feel like I'm rambling now, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and looking forward to the next time I see you guys. As always, have a wonderful day. Bye.